thorough investigation, arrest, and prosecution of the masterminds. Gentlemen of the press, you recall that we had 2 days before the commencement of the Edo State by-elections held on the 16th of August 2025 raised alarm in a widely circulated press statement of, of premeditated plots by the ruling party in the state, the All Progressive Congress, and its cohort to manipulate and create mayhem before and during the by-elections in a desperate attempt to prevent the main opposition party, the PDP, from making any inroad during the polls. Based on events that happened on the day of the elections, the alarm, which was based on credible and undiluted information, has now proved to be true. The unforeseen scenario witnessed during last Saturday by-election in Edo State, especially in Iguahu Wanwe, precisely at Uzualua Model Primary School, Ward 1, Unit 1, was an open, unprovoked attack and mindless dehumanization of a very respectable member that has been working on the development space for decades, Comrade Destiny Inabulele, a former director of publicity, secretary general, and later president of the Conference of Non-Governmental Organizations, Edo State chapter. He was attacked by scores of elements and alleged to be members of the ruling party, the APC, and their agents, ironically, right in the presence of security agents who stood by and looked the other way while the man was being humiliated. As a law-abiding citizens, Comrade Inabulele was at his polling station Unit 1, Ward 1, Ozolwa Modern Primary School, Igako at about 9:00 a.m. to exercise his franchise of voting for a candidate of his choice in the Ovia Federal Constituency by-election when a multitude of fearsome-looking boys, thugs, believed to be members of the APC and their agents, led by an unidentified official of the DSS and one Mr. Desmond Inabulele, popularly known as Bishop, the executive chairman of Edo State Sports Commission. Two other men, Mr. Kenneth Ehige and Mr. Junior Wifo, with the DSS giving them a cover and protection. The thugs publicly attacked our member, Comrade Inabulele, and two of his aides mindlessly, right in the presence of other security agents, the police, DSS, and Civil Defense Corps, who stood by and looked the other way while they were being brutalized. Presently, our member and two of his aides are nursing the injuries they sustained from the attack. Besides, they lost some of their valuable items like mobile phones, shoes, ATM cards, and voters card, among others. We consider the unprovoked attack and dehumanization suffered by our member in the course of carrying out his civic responsibility as a violation of his fundamental right of freedom, franchise, and enshrined and guaranteed under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. These unfortunate events, strongly rooted in desperation at manipulating the electoral process, cast very serious doubt on the credibility of the polls. These contravenes, these controversies have again left a lingering crisis of confidence in the electoral system and further erodes the integrity and impartiality of both the electoral management body INEC as well as security agencies that are expected to be the major catalyst in the success or otherwise of our democracy and the rule of law and order. As we pointed out earlier, all these happenings were extensively mentioned in our press statement just days before the election. The fact that the fact that it eventually happened says a lot about the mentality, the neutrality of INEC and security agencies, whose responsibility it is to forestall any untoward and unwholesome acts of hooliganism and brigandage during the elections. Conclusion: we demand that the police and other security authorities immediately carry out a thorough and unassailable investigation and publish their findings while ensuring that perpetrators of the violence and brigandage that took place in Iwabozoa and other places are brought to justice. Incidentally, it happened in the full glare of the public, and there are eyewitnesses who can corroborate this scenario, with these serious acts of violence meted out into Comrade Destiny Inabulele and others. The over-militarization and manipulation of the electoral environment as witnessed in Edo during the by-elections was a total breach of the provisions of the Electoral Act and an assault on voters' rights on a free and transparent process. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who is a a proponent and promoter of constitutional democracy, freedom of association, etc., should call his party, the All Progressive Congress APC in Edo State, to order before they plunge the state into serious political security crisis. We call on the Canadian Embassy to beam its searchlights of on the persons and activities of Mr. Desmond Inabulele, aka Bishop in Nigeria, as he has always boasted of having immunity to do anything in Nigeria and run back to his base of Ontario, formerly lived in 105 Canning, Canning, Canning Park, NW Calgary, ABT3POW5, Canada, for cover. Finally, while we are ready to go all legitimate lengths to ensure the protection of our members at all times, we want to bring it to public notice that whatever happens to our member, Comrade Destiny Inabulele, the State Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Honorable Dennis Idahosa, Mr. Desmond Inabulele, and their team should be held responsible. Thank you and God bless.
It's a clearer understanding of our position. First of all, we want to start by saying that Nigeria has grown beyond. Yes, I'll come to my name, please. we want to state that Nigeria has grown beyond the era of do or die affairs of politicking. We've gone beyond the era of winner, I must win it by force mentality. We've also gone beyond the era of if you don't belong to my family or if you don't belong to me, I match you down. So as civil society groups, having gone beyond these stages of a democratic process, because it's a process that grows from 1999 till now, we've had so many experiences. So I wouldn't want anybody, a group of individuals or a political party to draw us back to our dark years of democracy. So Mr. President, and of course, all of us, we believe in freedom of association. That I do not belong to your family does not mean you should kill me, maybe because you consider yourself at an advantage position than myself. And having said that, the names mentioned in our press conference is very factual, and we ended it up that yes, if they need maybe further evidence to prove, even individuals to attest to it, because Nigerians, we are, of course, you know that yes, we are sympathetic to each other. It's a Nigerian system. You are sympathetic to me, especially when injustice is being melted at me. You see people rallying around me to see that I'm protected, at least to a certain extent. So the people in that local government, in that ward, in that polling unit, we have a record of them that said yes. Oh, now maybe using can even use the language. Even though most of us we are not conversant with their local languages, but you saw even women shouting and crying and say, "Oh, you understand?" And those people having identified, because after the event took place, we went underground to actually know, ascertain their identity, to know their affinity to a political party, to an interest and all that. So to know who is even legally, who is supposed to vote in that polling unit and who is not supposed to vote there. To know why they should be there at that time and not. So those facts, we have them. We have them. And we are saying, as observer groups, and we are, as I told us, that yes, we are not particular about who has won the election and the events that characterize the winner and all those things. But the humiliation, the manhandling, the attack on our member because he just went to exercise his franchise as a voter in that particular polling unit. Which means, as we are canvassing for the constitutional amendments, giving room for election officials to be able to vote in an election, if that is given, we are not protected. That's our concern. If we are saying that yes, election of police officers, you have the right to vote anywhere you find yourself, election duty officials, you have the right to vote anywhere you find yourself. But this person, being a member, and their place happen to be his polling unit. So if that could happen to him, because they know his identity and all those things, so what becomes of it? So we have gone underground to investigate the matter, know the people that carried out the attack. And we are calling on the security agencies to investigate. If they need further clarification, we are there to provide it. If they need individual evidences, we are there to provide it. That is just it. And that should stop. That should stop. You win on a clean note. You must not kill me because you want to win. You must not stamp on my foot, on my head, because I'm not supporting you. I have the right of